What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Social Club where everyone has a voice. I'm your host, Jacob Hale, joined with me by Cam Saunders.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
So, we have a great episode for you guys today, but before we start, take care of the housekeeping stuff. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, comment down below, let us know your thoughts. We do our best to interact with you guys and respond daily. Also, join our Instagram where we post every single day, and join the Discord where it's a better way for you to connect with us as co-hosts and give your thoughts, topic ideas, everything like that.
Yeah, man. Hey, like I said, we got to pay the bills every day. So make sure you like, subscribe, and follow, man. We're gonna keep pushing out content, man.
Yeah, 100%. So interesting discussion I wanna give you here is that so college football is winding down. The NFL is got 2 more weeks, but that's also going to wind down pretty soon here. I want to know, are you more of a pro NFL guy and watching it, or are you more of a pro college football guy this year?
So a couple things. As the season winded down on football, I just want to say the game of football has gave me the best, probably one of the best years of me just enjoying football that I've witnessed in a long, long time. It was just great across the board. College held it down on Saturdays, Sundays did a really good job on holding it down. Hey man, it's just been a fun year as far as football and a lot of great matchups. I am going to lean a little bit more towards the NFL than college. The reason being is because oh man, ain't nothing like the NFL playoffs. I think the reason why I'm taking the NFL more than college is just because one, the playoffs, but two, um, I just think the matchups is like unpredictable sometimes. It's I feel like it's more upsets in the NFL than it is in college. And I know that may sound crazy,
That
but
does.
like the Panthers can go out there and the Panthers almost beat the Chiefs at home. Like think about it. Like the Panthers upsetted a lot of teams, which everybody thought was going to be the worst team in the NFL. Also, like it's a lot of things that builds up in the NFL too is because like one is like okay the bad teams, all right, how the draft order is going to rock, all right, like you got to think about the all season because as soon as the NFL season over with we got to jump straight into the all season because we got to like all right, who's leaving, who's resigning, where the free agents jumping. Free agency is literally some of the best seasons of all seasons because everybody, the NFL all season is insanely like just chaotic. Everybody loved the NFL like all season, right? And then like just as far as like the gameplay, like like just watching Jamar Chase do what he do, like Joe Burrow, like Lamar Jackson, like you know what I mean, like Patrick Mahomes, get to watch these guys, every single. I think this is one of the best NFL seasons too. Like I just, I love it. Even though my team didn't do great this season, I'm a big NFL guy at heart, and I love the NFL because I just think it's more competitive. College is I'm more passionate about college, but NFL I'm more like tuned into it if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think the NFL was absolute trash this year. I'm definitely way more of a college football guy. And I told you this earlier
Yeah,
this
you
year.
did. Yeah,
I thought this was going to be the best college football season of all time.
he said that during week zero, y'all. He said that during week zero when Georgia Tech was playing. Who Georgia Tech upset it? Florida State
Yeah, Florida State.
in Germany or Ireland or something like that. He
Yeah.
said that week zero. So I'm gonna let him do his thing, y'all.
Yeah, I've seen enough. I think it's only comparable to the 2007 season, but they're neck and neck with each other in my eyes, and for a lot of reasons. Again, this is a very new thing with the playoff format, but also the parody that I saw. Right now, I agreed once you explained it with the NFL. Yeah, any given team can win any given Sunday, but college football was just absolute chaos this year because again a lot of these teams had an actual chance and they had a lot more to play for. So again, week two, watching NIU beat Notre Dame, right? On just a random Saturday afternoon. Like I'm at like a beer hall looking at that. I was like, ain't no way.
Yeah,
I
at
was like,
home. Yeah.
hey, and by the way, Notre Dame, you destroyed my parlay doing that. So you owe me some money. Because who would think that would happen? But no, college was definitely way better for a lot of reasons. One, college is always a faster pace, which I do enjoy. Two, they allow the game to play out a lot more. So there's a lot. they're leaning a lot less on actually throwing penalties and slowing down drives. I think that's my biggest critique on the NFL is that there's so many big plays in the NFL that kept getting called back for random penalties and stuff. And I get it, a penalty is a penalty. However, there's a lot of terrible officiating that was going on in these NFL games that I didn't like. Number one for the NFL, y'all need to figure out what holding is for the offensive line because it's ridiculous.
Hmm.
They call it literally at the most randomest stuff and stuff that doesn't even make sense. And as a former old lineman, like I know the rules, okay? So there's a lot of times where they're calling holding. I'm like, bro, the guy's falling down, you're pushing it. I'm like, bro, you can pancake block people.
Hmm.
Like, that's not a holding call. So that's ridiculous. So that's number one. Two, you got to figure out what we got to do with these QB plays because the QB roughing the passer is some of the worst calls I've seen in my life. Those calls have been terrible. It's literally just if you hit the QB too hard, it's a penalty. But it's messing up the entire game. Also, again, them running out of bounds, it's like, well, if you touch them when they're right before they're out of bounds, penalty. We're throwing it, right? So they need to figure that out. I'm all for player safety, but these QBs are really taking advantage of these rules and it's messing up the game for the defensive side. It's ridiculous, right? Um, I think one thing college football did I think one thing college football has done really well also that they always been well at is just the fan service, the build up, right? So it's like the college football games were great, but you know what's just as good as the games?
College game day.
Right. Waking up in the morning listening to Pat McAfee, Kurt Herbstreit and Lee Caruso and Nick Saban and all of them talk ball for 2, 3 hours before the game actually
Honestly,
starts,
you're
right?
100% right. I
Yeah.
paid so much attention to college game day.
Right.
The kick, the kick.
And and then on the other end, you still have NFL Red Zone, but again, they're trying to throw in ads on it now. Starting to be a little money grab there, where they're trying to like kind of pull you out and kind of steal your money. And then of course, it's very expensive to even have Red Zone; costs a lot of money. But you know, um, the NFL they're fine because the NBA is falling apart. So
Hmm.
the NFL is going to be fine. However, there's a lot of things I would like them to do better that would just make the game more fun to enjoy as a fan watching every single week. So I'm 100% college football this year. I think it's been significantly better. I like everything that they've done. They done so well that our only argument for college football is that there was too many blowouts in the first round of the playoffs. Like that's what made everyone upset was that there was a lot of blood. That's when you know you've done a good job. No one's been arguing about the targeting or officiating or anything like that, pace and anything. Everyone's been loving it. Their only argument was they wanted to see less blowouts in the playoff game.
No, yeah, I totally agree. One thing I will say that college football really did well was the expansions of the conferences, because one of the things that I really appreciated that we never used to witness is a Georgia Alabama matchup in Week 6 that we usually don't wait to get that matchup into the SEC championship. Like Oregon and Ohio State Week 7 matchup. Like that's one thing I will say that college football really we got more of the see, and that's why I lean more to the NFL is because we get more bigger games than what college football used to do, and this year that we finally got a lot more bigger games than what we used to have in the past. In the NFL, we basically got that almost every like basically, all it takes for one conference to go crazy, like the NFC North, and next thing you know, every time the NFC North play each other, it's a big game, right? So college football did a really good job with that. As far as like expanding the conferences. The only issue they got to do is just control the NIL a little bit more, and college football would dominate every sport. You know what I mean? Just control the NIL just a little bit, put a salary cap or something on these players. I don't know, but that's a different discussion for a different day. But yeah, the NFL. I mean, the NFL still gets a lot of credit because a lot of these guys that we like watching in college, guess where they playing at? In the NFL, right? I like watching Lamar Jackson play. I like watching Patrick Mahomes, and you get these guys on Sundays, right? And that's why I say like NFL, like the NFL and college, you're right, they're going to be fine, but it's just it's passion when it comes to it because that's not a employee, that's not a player base. These are not player based leagues. These are fan led leagues. Like we are literally psychopaths of the teams we support. So that's why these two sports will always be around. And they both did a really good job this year. I think this is the best year of football in general.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think what I enjoyed about college football and what they've been able to do is just like what you said before. It's not a player based league
Yeah,
to where you're watching because of one particular player. Because again, the NIL and everything, people are moving around and all that stuff. Like there's no big names. People like Shador, people like Cam Ward, and things like that. But it's really cool that it's like people are stuck to the team, no
yeah,
matter who's on that team, right? Like the amount of QBs that cycle through, let's just say LSU, for example, right? How many QBs they've had every single year? There's a new guy type of thing, but you just like the team
yeah.
and you like what's going on, what they're doing. And, I enjoy chaos. I do enjoy that. I think the NFL was pretty predictable. Like the usual suspects are in the games and performing how you expect them to, with Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, all that stuff. With college football, it was just a lot more fun because again, it was kind of a drop back from the SEC from their usual dominance that you would see, which is interesting. That was an interesting dynamic. There's a lot of new teams that we never seen be good before that were good, like the Indianas of the world, the SMU's, Boise State, and stuff having a shot. So I do enjoy that parody. I like the fact that every single game means something because that was the biggest issue with college football is that if you weren't a top five team, a lot of those games were just meaningless. Like you're fighting for the Gasparilla Bowl, pretty much. So it's really cool. I think college football in the next 2 to 3 years, if they can just figure out the NIL, get some type of cap or something, I think it's going to actually just be light years ahead of the NFL very soon.
Um, the college football is going to struggle though. They are going to
You think they're
struggle
going to struggle?
in one aspect.
What?
They have to put, like you said, salary cap and the amount of times you can hit the transfer portal because these bowl games are eventually going to be meaningless, right? Because if you're not in the 12 team playoffs, as soon as the season ends, these guys in the portal, the next thing you know, we got bad teams playing in these bowl games that they don't even care about winning about.
Hmm.
Like bowl games used to mean something, right? Bowl games used to mean something. And the fact that, when we clicking on the channel, we got like an Alabama versus Michigan, but we realizing it's like 13 people that opt out of the bowl game. It's like, why would I even watch this? Why would I even bet on this game, right? So it's like, dude, like you like especially with teams that barely missed the playoffs, it's like, well, show us a reason why you missed the playoff. Like you should have been in the playoffs by whooping this team ass in your bowl game, but instead you got half of your team opting out because they in the transfer portal. Like eventually bowl games will be like it's no point of having bowl games anymore if you're not in the 12 team playoff because these teams not even taking the bowl game serious no more. They need to really fix that before y'all lose the interest of us in watching these bowl games and these bowl games not these bowl like sponsorships aren't making any money because we don't care about these bowl games no more.
Yeah, and me and Garth actually had a full conversation. We were talking about bowl games and what they can do. So I'll tell you a couple things that they can do is one, they need to do a better job on how they pair these teams up to where, let's say, Memphis is going against a Tulane. Well, don't have them play in LA, right? Like keep it in a stadium or in an area relatively close to where the two schools are
Mhm.
so the fans can travel more. Two, again, fan service. Put something out there that gives you the motivation to want to be there, even though it's a meaningless game, right? Have a discount on jersey sales, have free parking, free food, whatever, type of thing, right? But give some type of incentive to actually have people want to pack the house on bowl games, and you can do that, right?
It's easy.
Yeah,
Just
it's
make your
not hard.
players play. Make your players play. That's the only issue. Like the fans will, like you said, we're passionate. But like I'm a Florida Gator fan. I don't care if it's Alabama and they both 1 and 2 and they play. If Florida's playing, I'm gonna have Florida on the TV somewhere over that and have the Alabama game in the background. Like
Right,
we are already passionate about our teams. You shouldn't have to bribe us to come do that. Just have the players play so that way we can expect our team to win when they play in these big bowl games instead of like we going in and we realize like, oh yeah, bro, our quarterback in the transfer portal, he's not playing in
right.
the bowl game. Why would I go watch that? You know what I mean? That's why I said like in these NIL deals and contracts, you need to make it mandatory. Like you said earlier in the year, you said, hey, like if these players getting paid all this NIL money and then they want to sit out of the bowl game because they want to transfer, they need to pay back a lump sum of their NIL money because they didn't complete their agreement by playing in the bowl game.
Yep,
You know what
that's
I
one.
mean? So like
And to add on to that, I also would what they need to do is the transfer portal. They need to have a start date. They need to just push back
yes,
a certain
yes, yeah.
start.
They need to not
So,
keep it open. They need to
so
open it
yep,
and close it within the time. Yeah, you
exactly.
did say
So,
that. Yep,
so what they need to do is like, all right, when week zero starts,
it's closed. Nobody can hit the portal.
that's your team, right? Or let's just say 2 weeks, whatever. But a small window at the beginning, it's like, all right, you're locked in. So if you decide to transfer and go somewhere else, you can go there, but you can't play. Like you can go there, you can do the work, you can do whatever the hell, but you can't touch the field at all,
Uh-huh.
right? Or actually, no, I extended further. You can't even be with team activities or anything, right? Until the next cycle. And then I would extend it all the way until at the conclusion of the national championship game.